Because we needed a palate cleanser so that I can make you all suffer with me. Because today we have a new episode in Conservative Comedy is Cringe. And frankly, y'all, I think this goes a little bit beyond cringe. So I want to just give a massive trigger warning to the trans folks in chat. JP Sears is, for those of you who don't know, he is a comedian, and I use that term loosely, but he's been doing sold-out shows across Canada and the United States, okay? But Jack, have they found another joke? Archangel the Cub, you know what? JP Sears goes a little bit off script, and we're gonna listen to one of his new bits. Okay, one of his new bits. It's a bit quiet, so I'll boost the sound a bit. Well, let me know how funny you think it is.
But I just imagine, like, I won't know who to kill. Gotta run up, have to identify people. Like, what side are you on, man? He's like, I'm on the right. I'm like, I don't believe you. He's like, what climate change? Okay, you're good. Go up to the next guy. What side are you on, man? First off, man isn't my preferred pronoun. Thank you for the identification. And he was on my team too. I didn't need to know anything about his genitals or anything else that he... It's like, quit being a narcissist. I didn't ask.
I'm going to play that one more time so you can really soak it in.
But I just imagine, like, I won't know who to kill. Gotta run up, have to identify people. Like, what side are you on, man? He's like, I'm on the right. I'm like, I don't believe you. He's like, what climate change? Okay, you're good. Go up to the next guy. What side are you on, man? Like, first off, man isn't my preferred pronoun. Thank you for the identification. And he was on my team too. I didn't need to know anything about his genitals or anything else that he... It's like, quit being a narcissist. I didn't ask.
So I can't up the volume any more than I already have. I'm sorry. That was as loud as this clip gets. It's very quiet. So if you didn't catch the joke, he's talking about, you know, in the upcoming civil war, you know, he wants to know who to kill. And you know, but how can he tell? So he has to run around asking people questions about their political beliefs, so he knows whether or not to shoot them. And the joke about trans people is, oh, I can just kill them because they're trans. That's the joke is, you're trans, so I'm going to kill you even if you ideologically agree with me. So I guess the message here is that Blair White, you better look out. The people you're hanging out with, they aren't going to give a fuck when the shit hits the fan, okay? Yeah, get it? Don't you guys get it? It's such a funny joke. It's such a funny joke. Just murdering trans people is a good guffaw. So such comedy, much wow. You know, just a good old meme. I took it as more about pronouns than trans, but oh no, it's not about pronouns. He was misgendering a trans woman in his sketch, and the joke, recall, was that as he's running around asking people what their political affiliations are, a trans person is like, excuse me, my pronoun is not man. and so he shoots them. Not because they ideologically disagree with him, not because of the pronoun shit, but because they're trans. This man is having sold out comedy shows. Sold out comedy shows for this guy. Yeah, Entrama, I was like, wow, is he really that bad? I've never seen him do like trans people should be murdered comedy. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, dude just has entire sets about murdering trans women. And this is just one example, guys. It's not an insignificant part of his stand-up. And it's not just Morgan Le Fay. It's not just American politics. This guy was performing in Canada, too. Good night, Jayhawker. Should we joke about murdering cishet? Probably not. Probably would not be advisable. So, you know, I saw that and I was like, well, you know what? I haven't checked in for a while. Let's take a look at what's going on his YouTube page. Let's have a little check-in, shall we?
Good evening.
Oh, the left is normalizing pedophiles. Well, buckle in. I'm sure this will be a very normal one.
Insensitive to pedophiles to call them pedophiles? Of course it is, because now the left is trying to normalize pedophilia. Welcome to our special report on minor attracted people. I literally want to throw up in my mouth right now. I have to act like it's normal to normalize pedophilia. My life. Do you know how much it is to buy your soul back once you've sold it? We're making progress, aren't we? So let's get into it. Leading the charge recently to normalize pedophiles is Alan Walker, an assistant professor at Old Dominion University. Alan went viral, not in a good way, for releasing a video saying the word pedophile should not be used to refer to people who are attracted to children. Yes.
We've already covered this person's ideas, and we'll talk about it more to clarify why they want to do this. Because, surprise, the goal is to make sure that that fewer children are being abused by pedophiles. That's the goal. Let's keep going, shall we?
We use a word for its intended meaning. Alan advocates that people replace the word pedophile with minor attracted people, or MAPS. Professor Pedophile went on to explain that the word is stigmatizing to them. Yes, the word does stigmatize.
Yeah, big melon lady. The idea is that you want a term for people who haven't acted on those attractions, so that they can go and get therapy and like help to make sure that they don't like assault a child. Like that's the goal. The goal is to make sure that you can destigmatize a term so these people can go get treatment so they don't molest anybody. That's the goal. And I think that's a pretty good goal. And I think that there's a lot of evidence out there from what I have seen that indicates having a program like that would reduce the amount of children who are being abused. But it's so easy to fearmonger about this. It's so easy to just say, oh, the left likes pedophilia. That, of course, conservative comedy is going for the lowest hanging fruit and also ignoring the reason that it's being done.
Ties them into being accurately identified as what they are. A dangerous threat to children. And of course, when you're trying to get away with a heinous crime, it's pretty inconvenient to be accurately identified. In fact, murderers are stigmatized too, aren't they? I think we should demand that people stop using that term and start referring to them as life-taking people. We do need to be more sensitive and inclusive to the murdering community. I mean, what the hell's wrong with us? Alan Walker, whose pronouns are they, them, also wrote a book entitled A Long Dark Shadow, Minor Attracted People and Their Pursuit of Dignity. In the book, they advocates for pedophilia acceptance. Who the f***?
You could just say they advocate. You don't have to say they advocates.
Is they? Is Alan multiple people? Is he a
God damn it. We're like 8 years into this discourse, man. We're 8 years into the discourse. They has been a singular pronoun since the fucking 1200s. Fucking Chaucer used a singular they. Chaucer! He was alive during your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather's generation. That's how long it's been around, my dude. Stop shitting yourself over it. Jesus.
Schizophrenia? I don't think they does. They, them, their professor claims that pedophile behavior can be moral, and thus the term minor attracted people should be used to—
Well, Morgan the Fae, you forget that this guy thinks that killing trans people is good, actually. So that's why.
Be more inclusive to pedophiles. I guess they need a safe space to be dangerous to children in. Well, what them doesn't know is there's already a place built specifically to be very inclusive to pedophiles. It's called prison. Check it out. Should be in there already, Professor. After Alan Walker's—
Hey, you know what? Let's do a thought experiment, okay? Let's do a thought experiment, okay? If you are someone, right, who is attracted to children, right? Like, imagine that for a second, all right? And you know that coming forward and saying, hey, I have this problem, I really don't want to act on it, and I don't want to be a danger to children, right? If you know that coming forward and telling anybody that is going to result in you going to prison, are you going to do it? No? Right, because no one wants to fucking go to prison. It's not that hard to figure out, right? The idea is that you want to have a term for non-offenders so that they can go and get like the therapy or the medication they need to not rape and abuse children. It's really not that difficult. Again, and I know I've brought this up a lot, we need to reframe this question, because essentially JP Sears is taking the hilarious position that more children should be raped. Haha, how fun. So JP Sears, why do you want more kids to be raped? Why is that part of your comedic bit? Yeah, you're looking kind of sussy baka without a shirt on, my dude, while talking about kid diddlers.
Pro-pedophile video made its rounds on the internet. Old Dominion—
Well, and Fiddle and Nero, to be clear, there are a lot of alternatives to chemical castration as well, but we don't have to go into like the whole treatment of pedophiles. That is a complicated subject for people who are more expert in the field than I am.
University placed they themselves on leave. All of them. Even though Old Dominion did so while voicing support for them's very impactful work on society. And you should know Professor Minor Attracted Pedophile People isn't alone in this very progressive movement. There's many in it. F my life. A known figure in the movement, Noah Balinsky, tweeted, "Pedophiles are essentially a stigmatized group. Certain people get designated as deep—"
Wait, is that true, Urk? Do you have a link you can send me about that? The majority of child sex abuse offenders are not even pedophiles? That's wild. Why is he accusing them of being a pedophile? Well, because that's what he thinks about trans people.
Deviants. people hate them. This just in! Protect your children. Also cool to see Twitter even verified his account. Great job, Twitter. Crushing it as always. In the news of other people getting in the pedophilia promotion, a TEDx talk was given by Miriam Heine entitled,
Well, I think Irkt was drawing a distinction between pedophiles and people who have engaged in child sexual abuse, because there probably are a lot of differences between those. Aspen 6, I think most CSA abusers are related family, either siblings or parents.
why our perception of pedophilia has to change. Watch.
Pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality.
Exactly like heterosexuality. Just one minor difference. The minors involved, who anybody with a soul would do every...
God, he even had a setup. He had a good setup. He had such a good setup, and then he messed it up. You could have just said, with only one minor difference. That would have been the joke right there. You didn't have to clarify it. It was already a good joke, and you just overshot it. The comedy in this is angering. Yeah, he can't even do the comedy badly. He had the joke there and intentionally ruined it. God damn it.
in their power to protect. Say more, Miriam.
Right now, most of us feel discomfort.
Yeah, it's a healthy reaction when you hear about vile behavior. Go on.
It is in our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles and to treat them with the same respect we treat other people with.
Pause it right there. If you notice, the good doctor doesn't know how to put on a headset microphone properly. It's supposed to go behind the head. That's why it's got this piece to go above the ear and then down. She's got hers on the top of her head. But I think her way is more representative of how she thinks about the world, so who am I to judge?
Well, and you're supposed to be wearing a shirt underneath your blazer, but some people are just renegade cannons, okay?
I personally look forward to her next TED Talk, normalizing Jeffrey Epstein while discussing his innocence. Now, what are the woke ideologies at play in the minor attracted people movement? Be inclusive to everyone, even if they want to rape your children. Destroy language to hide truth. Not allowed to use the word pedophile.
It's really interesting because I would bet all of my life savings that if we went and watched that TED Talk, that talk would include talking about why treating these people with respect and dignity when they're non-offenders would result in us being able to bring down the number of children who are abused. God.
Pedophile anymore to hide the truly terrible meaning it has. Make up new words to create a delusional reality. Minor attracted people are just like you and I. Basically the same thing as heterosexuality. Replace something good with something bad that seems good if you don't think about it.
Wow, only 20 to 40% of child sex abusers are pedophiles. Like anywhere from 60 to 80% are just parents or siblings getting off on the power dynamic. That's insane. Oh, Winterseed, you've watched it and I'm correct. Wowee! Alan Zadi, you owe me all of your life savings.
Protecting children from the trauma pedophiles can inflict on them is replaced with seeing pedophiles as good people that don't do anything morally wrong to children. And we can...
That's not the argument that any of the people that you showed in the clips in this bit. None of them said that, my dude. It's cool that you're just lying. It's cool that he's just lying.
Consider ourselves wrong and insensitive for not allowing pedos around our children. Play the victim. Poor pedophiles. They seem so stigmatized when they're called what they are. Did you know cells of the body that can't hold their cellular boundaries are very prone to being invaded by cancer? Yeah. But of course, people having no boundaries against terrible people, terrible ideas, and terrible behavior is good for them. What a journey of progress it's been tonight. In conclusion to our special report, the virtue signaling evidence is clear. The right thing to do is to replace the term pedophile with minor attracted people. Other acceptable terms for minor attracted people are piece of shit, danger, and criminal. If you thought the left was coming for your children with critical race theory and gender dysphoria, then I'm sure you're very impressed with how they're upping their game by trying to normalize sexual attraction to children. I have no soul, but go save your children. Good night!
What's up, my friend?
Jesus, man, he's so painful to watch. What happened to Cody Johnson? Oh gosh.